Utahns value their deep pioneer roots, and at Studio 5, we're giving tribute through food this week, pulling up some of the prized recipes of our pioneer past and sharing sort of a modern-day makeover to those recipes. It's part history lesson, part cooking lesson. It's been a lot of fun. That combination hits at the heart of Becky Low with the dairy farmers of Utah and Idaho. I think this food series is perfect for you because you're always so appreciative and good to share with us the food history behind the recipes we love and make.
Well, thank you, thank you. You know, history and food connect generations, and it's all about connecting our families and our past. And so I love it. I love it. This is fun.
What throwback recipe did you choose to play with today?
I chose bread pudding. Bread pudding.
We're calling it pioneer bread pudding, just to add an extra little spin of authenticity to it. And bread pudding, you point out, really hasn't changed all that much over the years.
No, in fact, it really dates back much before the pioneers because it's very basic ingredients. But the pioneers, you know, they made it in their Dutch ovens, and I love Dutch ovens. And so this is my connection, too. That's my grandpa's Dutch oven.
Oh, I love it.
So, you know, there's a connection with it.
I love it. And we've richened it up. Is that a verb? Okay, we've made it more rich over the years with the additives we put into it.
Okay, so basically it's milk and eggs, and you might put some sugar or some seasoning with it, and bread. And that's it.
That's it.
And it was a way of using up old bread. It was a way of being frugal. They just couldn't throw things away. It's also called a crumb pudding. And so even the crumbs were used with this. And so it all goes in. Well, today we might call it breakfast casserole.
Yes.
And we'll throw in some ham and cheese, but it's still those basic ingredients. Or we might put peaches or strawberries or caramel or chocolate or,
now
you
you're
know,
talking.
it's even in upscale.
Now you're talking.
It's even served today in upscale restaurants. And so it's still trendy. You know, it dates back hundreds of years. And I just love it.
And another change in how we make it today could be how we actually cook it up. You're really excited about this new gadget.
Yeah, you need to see this. Now, it used to be that pioneers would check the temperature of their pans or their fire by their hand. You know, if you can leave it so long, then it would be, but look at this. There's a thermometer
right on
there.
the front. We know when it's done and done.
Yep. So I probably won't be getting one of those, but I love it and love that connection. You know, modern day, we don't have to guess anymore.
You can't say it's as good as Dad's, though, right? Grandpa's, Dad's?
Grandpa's.
All right, one other variation you put on this recipe is, I've been calling it all day a bread pudding cupcake. It's technically, I guess, a little tartlet, isn't it?
It's whatever you want to call it.
Thanks.
So we're kind of morphing it in. You know, again, the bread pudding is just the bread, milk, eggs, a little bit of sugar. We're going to put it in some puff pastry. And so it's kind of fun. We'll put some jam in it. The pioneers immediately started to plant and harvest, and whenever they had berries, they made them into jam and preserved them. So we'll top it off, and so that's a connection with our then and now.
That flakiness is pulling me in. Show us how.
Okay, we start off with puff pastry, and there's usually 2 sheets that come in a package, and I've rolled them out to about a 12 by 9. And then we want to cut these into some squares. Well, that wasn't very square, but we'll pretend like it was.
Let's hope the pioneer ancestors aren't judging your squares.
They also didn't measure, so instead it was not a cup, but it was a handful or a dash and whatever with it.
I would have been a great cook back then. I can barely do it with a measuring spoon in my hand.
My mom was not a pioneer, but I hated it when she said, until it looks good. All right, so we're going to put that in there. I'm going to let you do that.
Okay.
Okay, so just put it in. You know, line the muffin tins. So
until it looks right.
Until it looks right. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so muffin tins. That's something new today. You know, the pioneers did not have a lot of equipment. Let's put another one in there.
Okay.
Yep. They didn't have a lot of equipment, so they had to make do with what they had. But today we have. I'm afraid I have too many things in my kitchen. Okay, so with that, while you're doing that, I'm going to put some eggs into our milk. And it's a whole milk, you know, so they might save the cream off their, and everyone had a cow, which was good. We like that.
Yes.
And they might save their cream off for making butter or for making other things, but instead, you know, we're just, they would also mix it in.
Yeah.
This is my new one.
Don't you almost feel guilty as we talk about then and now?
Yes, you know, I do. Let's put in some sugar. So sugar was very sparse, but they used it. Yeah, let's put it all in. That'll sweeten it up, and I'll put that in. Let's just do a little pinch of salt. Okay. Don't put that whole thing in.
Please don't.
And they would also share, you know, so whatever spices they happen to have with their neighbors, whatever.
There was a swap meet going on.
Yeah, there was a swap meet. and whatever season they could. Oh, we need a little bit of vanilla in this too.
we do.
That's our modern one. All right, now it's bread pudding. So this technically is a bread. I'm actually going to, I said it was a crumb as well. It's not just bread pudding, but crumb pudding.
Oh, so we get that at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. So this makes a little bit texture, gives a little bit thicker, more stable texture.
Yeah, I have to think the texture is exploding in this with all of the cool flakes.
Absolutely.
Is that straight up breadcrumb or cracker
Yeah,
or what?
it's just breadcrumbs, but it could be anything. You know, so because they were using crumb, it could be left over from crackers or biscuits or bread or whatever. They just did not want to waste anything.
There's a lesson there, too.
Okay, then we just simply pour the custard over the top of it. You know, one of the packages of puff pastry will make about 12 of these.
Nice.
Fill it up.
Okay.
We bake it at about 375 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes until it's nice and brown and puffed up, and you can see those.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And then we've got to add that wonderful jam or preserves. I'm using raspberry today. Dollop on the top of it. And then they would put some kind of a sauce over it. So ice cream if it was in the wintertime and they had the ice, or this is a vanilla pudding, vanilla sauce.
Right here?
Yeah, so we
Yum.
just kind of pour that over the top of it.
Okay.
And
May I do a little drizzle
Absolutely.
here?
Yep.
As
Drizzle
we
it on.
remind you that all of Becky's recipes, including this one, on our website, studio5.ksl.com. Becky, you've sold me here.
Oh, there you go.
This is delicious looking, delicious tasting because Becky made it.
Yeah, thank you. Old and new.
Old and new come
We're
together
good together.
in the most delicious way. Look for that recipe again. And all of the recipes shared this week on our website. Just click there on the recipe tab.